Blah.
We know that Glenn Danzig is a lot of things, guys. He is a lot of things. He's a musician. He's a singer. He's a songwriter. He plays guitar, bass, drums. He plays the piano. He's a composer. He is a writer. He is a director. He is an actor. He was a record label owner and runner. He's a graphic artist. He's a photographer. And he does illustration. He runs a comic book company. He's an art dealer. For better or for worse, he does it all. It's really kind of weird to think that Glenn Danzig was also a movie critic. That's right. Glenn Danzig, for a period of time in the early 80s, wrote these tiny little movie blurb reviews for Flipside Magazine.
If you don't know what this one is, what the fuck you doing here?
Okay, Suburbia. This was made by Penelope Spheeris, who did The Decline, and Corman's former company, New World. Just another reason why this reminds me of AIP's teen hippie flicks of the 60s, Wild in the Streets and Wyatt on Sunset Strip. I mean, that's essentially what that is. Like, Suburbia is just Corman's attempt at, once again, trying to cash in on the latest teenage subculture. And in the 60s, it was the hippie stuff. And Suburbia, we didn't get as many punk films as we got like hippie films in the 60s, or, you know, teen surf flicks, which are all carry in the same tradition as the rock and roll movies of the 50s, like, you know, like Rock Around the Clock and yada, 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 like that, which were really nothing more than showcases for what was happening in the 50s, like, you know, music-wise, the teen phenomenon. This is very interesting how he puts this. He's right. This is much an exploitation film as it is an attempt to take punk a little more seriously. Unfortunately, this movie does more harm than good. People will see this and say, all punks are like this. You can probably expect a few more teen punk flicks to come out soon, but don't expect any authenticity. Spheeris tried but failed to maintain in Suburbia. They'll be even cornier than this one. And this was fucking corny. All responsible for this deserve a slow and very painful death. No room for a review, but go see Spinal Tap. Lots of yucks. So he likes Spinal Tap. But, I mean, he's kind of right. She would return. John Cryer actually stars in this film called Dudes. And it's just about a bunch of punks that go on a road trip after their friend died. And the villain is played by Lee Ving, actually, funny enough. But I love Suburbia. I love it for the performances in it, the music performances. You have a super young T.S.O.L, one of my favorite fucking bands. I love T.S.O.L so much. You know how much I love T.S.O.L because at the beginning of this video, I talked about how my film is named after the song Wash Away, which is from the T.S.O.L album Beneath the Shadows, which in turn was some of the material that they had just done when they did this film Suburbia. And they play Wash Away is actually played in the film Suburbia, as well as a track that never made it to the album called Darker My Love. Two phenomenal T.S.O.L songs, phenomenal film. Check that out. Speaking of Wash Away, I got Jack Grisham to sign my VHS copy of Suburbia with the New Wave cover. Stoked. Jack is an awesome, awesome dude. I've crossed paths with him several times in various different ways, and I really appreciate Jack a lot. I think he's a great guy. I would say he's an influence of mine in many ways. This would be a good way to put it. So yeah, I like Suburbia. Let's see what else it says.